Hello, and welcome to another episode of If This Car Could Talk. This is our 30th episode, and we want to thank you. We could not have gotten this far without our wonderful subscribers and members of the If This Car Could Talk family. Today's feature car is John Mittleider and his 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. Now, let's go for a ride.
Hi, I'm John Mittleider, and I've owned this 69 Roadrunner for the last 10 years. I came across it when I was living in Sacramento area. Found it out in the Delta for sale. The guy had had it for about 5 years. I previously had a 67 Belvedere, but I was looking for a Roadrunner because I had had my first Roadrunner back when I was 18 and I wanted a Roadrunner again. And so I found that, had to haul it home. It was kind of running, but not really very well, not enough to drive it. And I rented a trailer and brought it home. And it had a lot of stuff wrong with it. The carburetor was crappy, and interior was totally messed up. It was a weird color, and I've just kind of pieced together what I think happened with the car. Somebody wanted it and liked it at some point because they took out the old engine 383 and put a 440 in it, and it's a date correct 440. It's not just a random one. It's a high performance 440, so it's the right motor for that car if you want to make it something really nice. And I did ended up putting the 6-barrel on top just to make it really cool, because that's just what I like. It's not any kind of a special car, no numbers matching anything. It's just an old basic metallic bronze car originally. Bench seat, automatic transmission, and not much going on. I felt like the guy, like I said, had had it for 5 years. He wasn't going to do anything with it. He just had several cars that he was maybe going to do something with, but he just didn't. So I got a decent deal on it for what a Roadrunner is, because at the time I was trying to find anything, and either were a basket case that needed tons of work, or they were totally restored, and I didn't want to pay $35,000 or whatever for that. So this was a perfect in-between car, which, again, I looked for months and months and months trying to find something like that, and this one just popped up on Craigslist one day, and I was the first one to call and got a hold of it. So I got it home, I tore the whole interior out because it was just horrible brown color, looked weird, had thick plush brown carpet in it. The seats were just, I can't even describe how bad it was. I've got pictures, but it was just not good. So I tore it all out, repainted the seats with the vinyl SEM paint, put a new headliner in, because they had a white headliner in there that was partially done, and they were trying to stain it, looked like, to match the car, the interior. And an orange car with black stripes just did not look right with a brown, tan, ugly interior. It was like a caramel color. And then to see that headliner, I was blown away by how weird it looked, because it just had some stains in some parts of it, like they were experimenting, trying to see what color would look good. And I don't know if that guy did it or the previous owner to him, but I know whoever he got it from is the one who painted it orange, because it was originally metallic bronze. It had a regular hood on it before that had just black stripes on the top, so it was a regular Roadrunner hood. I'm not sure what he was doing. He put the 440 in. There are holes drilled along the side, which is not normal for the. It looked to me like he was trying to make it into a GTX for some reason, which didn't make sense to me, because why would you take a Roadrunner and make it a GTX? But with the 440 and those, I forget what those rails are called on the side, but that's what came with the car too, and I didn't want those on there, so I said, it's going to be a Roadrunner. So it's what it is. It's what it's going to stay. And so, I did the 6-barrel on there. Actually, the hood was an interesting story. I found that on Craigslist down when I was in Sacramento, and it had been a race car hood at some point, and this guy, whatever he had it on, apparently was going away or leaving town, so all his buddies made that a gift to scratch their names all on this hood. So they were I don't know, probably 30 or so names that were scratched in it, and different things that they said good luck or whatever he was doing. And so I picked it up for pretty cheap. I thought, I'll try and do this body work and see what I can do. I've never messed with fiberglass, so we'll see what happens. So I tried to repair it, did the chunks, and so there's a few little imperfections on there that are from those names that were scrawled in there. It was just kind of a funny thing. The decals I have on this were actually from my original Roadrunner that I never actually got to restore because it was such a bad car. And but I kept them my whole life, and when I got this one ready for that point, I just said, okay, they're going on here. This paint is not great, but it's good enough for what I do. I like to drive it. I'm not trying to restore it and make it a perfect car. Whoever owned it, again, they put the 440 in, they painted it orange. I imagine at home, because there was overspray on everything. The whole all around the whole windshield had paint sprayed on it. I had to take a razor blade and sit there for hours and hours scraping it off of all the rubber and all that. It was just bizarre. I buffed it out, and it's actually turned out reasonably good. I mean, I'm sure it could use body work underneath there, but I'm not going to invest a ton of money because it looks cool like it is. I think to me it's blue collar muscle. It's just right. If it's like I mentioned the trim, I've got the trim for it. It doesn't stay on. I got to get new clips, things like that. I'll get to it one day. The main thing I want is to make it ride nice, so I'm going to do some suspension upgrades at some point. But because it's hard to drive after about 30 minutes, especially when it's hot. But it's an awesome car. I love having it. I love having it around. As you've seen, the collection just kind of comes with the territory. When you have one of these things, you like to collect things. And I like old stuff anyway, so I'm an antique kind of a person, and I just picked up lots of cool things, lots of toys, and interesting little things. It's amazing how much marketing was done with a character like the Roadrunner, and I just thought it was fun. I would go to antique stores everywhere I travel and always try to find things, and I found some really interesting stuff. I have other ones that I don't have. I got another room in the back of the house that has just I've got a whole corner cabinet full of other toys and the other sign that goes to that one. But I'm building a shop out here in the side yard eventually, and that's where all this stuff is going to go. So this garage will be my wife's garage at some point. Oh, I did do a manual valve body in that because I just didn't like the automatic transmission that was in there. I mean, the transmission is the same one, but I made it into a manual valve body, so I shift it. So that's kind of cool because then I can wind it out as far as I want. I've got the rev limiter on there, so I can't overkill it or anything like that. And then I put 355s in the rear end. It had 323s when I bought it, but I wanted something a little bit more aggressive. It's always fun to get on a highway and just kick all 6 barrels in. It's just an incredible feeling. These only run on 2 barrels. If you're just driving around, it's only running on the middle, the center carb. But when you get up to a higher speed or hit the gas, then those other ones kick in. Like when you're cruising on the highway at 65 or whatever, and you step on that thing and go all the way, you just feel the whole thing lift up and just, it's just an awesome feeling. That's why I'm a Mopar guy. I've always been all my life, and that's just something special about them. I've got a great picture, one of my favorite pictures of this car, when I was living in Roseville in California. We had there's an NASCAR raceway in Roseville, so they had a car show there, and they let us go out on the track, and we circled the track and everything. And at the end, me and my buddies, we parked all of our cars along kind of slanting downhill, and the shot is just perfect because you got the NASCAR sign in the back. It's you're on a racetrack and you can see it, and the car is just sitting there in full glory, and it's like, man, this is it. That's what having one of these is all about.
Sweet ride there. John loves cruising in his blue collar muscle car, and we understand why. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. All you have to do is hit that little button below and you'll never miss one of our stories. Just like part 2 of the 69 Roadrunner story coming up on Thursday. Thanks for sharing your story with your new If This Car Could Talk family members, John. Until Thursday, keep it between the ditches and stay safe out there.